Hi there, I'm Jonathan. I'm the co-founder and CEO of Spree Interactive. And let's see whether we can get our presentation up on the display. Here we go. So we are actually developing the next generation entertainment, and I've here a virtual reality headset with me. And we have raised so far 8 million euros, 5 million equity and 3 million debt. And we're growing the last 3 consecutive years for 250% each year, despite COVID. And what we focus is actually selling B2B turnkey virtual reality entertainment systems to theme parks, to family entertainment centers, to trampoline parks, to sports parks, to shopping malls, to cinemas, basically everywhere where people come together to have fun. And we think that VR and fun in a social aspect is even nicer. And let me now play this video, which I will talk over so that you can get an idea of what I'm talking about. May you play the video, please? Perfect. So essentially, with our virtual reality, it's all about active social fun. So it's the aspect that you have a free space. It's like a true holodeck experience, so 10 by 10 meters empty, and you can go anywhere. So sky is the limit. We started with kids. Why kids? Because kids are very adoptive. So for them, a virtual reality headset is as new as an iPad, and they love it. They put the headsets on, and then they're immediately in another fun world. We started with ultra casual games, basically mini games, 3 to 5 minutes, above all for birthday parties. Every parent in the room will understand that as a parent, you always need to come up with new ideas what to do with the kids for birthday. And our clients make 50% of the profit and revenue with birthday parties. So that's why we are trying to help them with virtual reality birthday parties. And the biggest media company in Europe, ProSiebenSat.1 Media SE, publicly listed, invested 3 million in our seed round. With that, we moved to edutainment, so you can fly to Mars with us. And now, recently, we've onboarded a leading virtual reality esports title to our platform. In essence, to create more different content for different target groups. So by now, we're also covering team building events, corporate events, and teenagers and adult entertainment. And in order to grow that content portfolio, we are raising 12 million Series A, and we have already 7 million euros committed. And I would love to speak to you if you're interested to either invest as a follow investor or as a lead investor. And here are some trends why this is actually being adopted globally. First segment is shopping malls. So shopping malls with COVID, actually this trend has been accelerated. Either they die, and many of them in the US are dying, or they will transform to entertainment and experience places, and we help them to do so. The second segment is theme parks. So theme parks, either they need to also keep up with the in-home entertainment alternatives. All kids are playing Fortnite at home, so they go to a theme park, they want to be actually do something beyond that. And we help theme parks doing exactly that. So what we provide is the world's highest user throughput virtual reality attraction. What that means is essentially there's no other virtual reality attraction in the world where you can entertain more people per hour as with our system. So we have 3 products on the market, X6, X10 and VR bumper car, where we have put VR on real life bumper cars. And a key KPI for our operators is 3,500 plays per week per attraction. That means you can multiply this 3,500 by 5 euros or dollars, and then you get an idea of how much revenue they make on a weekly basis. And our goal is them to break even within the first 12 months. And it's based on proprietary technology from the Fraunhofer Institute of Technology, where we are spin out from. So essentially, it's the MP3 birthplace. And the technology is patented, which is sensor fusion, in order the kids not to bump into one another. And let's see what the business model is all about. It's straightforward. We provide a package of the hardware, which is off the shelf. This is Chinese made. And we take the latest headset, so we're going to change to a new headset soon. Then we put our own content, and we have third-party content. And in essence, in the future, we're gonna become the Netflix for virtual social worlds. So our content part will shrink, and our hardware part will shrink, and our content part will grow. We're selling this globally through resellers, mostly to operators who then charge tickets to the end consumer. So we have a pretty good attraction rating and won several awards. The biggest client currently is Urban Air. It's the fastest growing franchise chain in the US. They're growing with one park each week, and our virtual reality attraction is set in the blueprint. And here this gives an idea of what the top 19 chains globally can bring us. So over 200 million in revenue and 15 million in annual recurring revenue. If we look at the content, as explained, we started with family-friendly content because there was a huge gap on the market. There were just zombie shooters out, which were actually a bit boring. And then we moved to edutainment, and we are honing in on this, creating new titles and esports. 50% of our content is developed in-house. It's more profitable. 85% gross margin, because once you created the virtual content, you can obviously distribute at no cost. We have an open SDK for third-party developers in order to encourage to build an ecosystem, and we've already onboarded selectively one of the biggest Hollywood studios called Pixomondo. They actually did the mission to Mars for us, which is here. So besides the 3 million in seed round from ProSiebenSat.1, we got 250,000 for mission to Mars, which is graphically a bit higher quality, and we're selling this globally to museums and science parks. It's fact-based, so basically the users, they learn something about humanity surviving on Mars. We launched it last year, just when all the rocket ships went to Mars, so it was a pretty good timing. And if we look at the competition, we beat the competition by far with the highest user throughput, which is important for the operators, because the operators obviously want to make money. So the more throughput you have, the more tickets you sell, and the quicker the ROI. So this is the most important, and therefore also we are the most price competitive. And we designed the whole experience in a way which is easy. So a real-time multiplayer VR attraction is not easy, but we had to make it easy so that a teenager can actually operate it, because usually in these places teenagers are operating. And we are also the only one with the bumper car VR, which I'm gonna share a little video with you. So if we look at the market, we clearly see that Facebook, now Meta, goes for the consumer market. We believe that it's not prime time. So if you look at this headset, it looks like Nokia communicator before the iPhone came out. So Apple is about to enter this market, and then it will look a little bit like more like glasses. However, as long as it looks like a Nokia communicator, we believe that not the mass market will want to own this at home. So what we're offering is virtual reality as a service. So you don't need to own this. You don't want to handle how to calibrate this. You just want to have fun with your friends. And that's why you come to our client side. You do exactly that, and then you go back to reality. So we see a market gap of 5 to 10 years until the headsets are really that slick that everybody in this room has a headset at home. And that's why we obviously want to capture that market. At once the in-home VR market is ready, we are actually in a prime position to also dominate that one.
1 minute.
Okay, thank you. So this year we are on track to reach 6.5 million revenue by having installed over 100 attractions. And as mentioned, our content proportion will grow to up to 50, therefore really becoming a Netflix model. If you look at the unit economics, we have a pretty decent margin on the hardware, which is year one. However, with the fundraise, our goal is to increase the content part, which is even more higher margin, which is 85%. So this is the video which I want to skip now. We grew the last 3 years for 250%, and this year we want to grow from 2.5 million to 6.6 million, which is even more. We have a pipeline of over 19 million globally, and we've raised 8 million so far, 5 million equity, 3 million in debt. Deutsche Bank is giving us loans, so we are bankable, and right now we are raising 12 million. We have 7 million out of that committed already, and we're looking for 5 million outstanding.
Thank you very much.
Thanks.
Perfect.
So happy to take any questions.
Hi, I have to admit, I know you. I am a IAPA member. This is my history as an entrepreneur. So in Romania, I am involved in kind like 200 million parks in development projects. So I have to be tough with you because we are professional, okay? How did you resolve the motion sickness?
Sure, good question. And so that is exactly where our patents come into play. If you've seen the video, basically the people move around. Motion sickness happens whenever you have audiovisual inputs from the headset and a stomach feeling. For example, if you sit down on a chair and your headset says, I'm on a roller coaster, but your stomach tells you, I'm sitting. And this disconnect basically obviously makes people feel
You
bad.
don't enjoy the feeling.
Exactly.
We use it in water slides.
Exactly. And what we're trying to do is basically give the users the power back to actually decide how fast or how slow the user wants to move. Essentially, one step in reality is one step in virtual reality. So the worlds are congruent. You're not teleporting yourself, because teleporting is for gamers common, but for the average Joe, let's say, it's not common. So that's how we want to, or that's how we are actually fighting motion sickness.
Just wait to try it. Do we have a chance here?
Exactly. I have an offline demo, so exactly we would like you to also get immersed for the virtual reality bumper car, which now I haven't touched upon. So in this headset, I have an offline demo. That means you are in a virtual reality bumper car in a futuristic Asian city, and you need to find a gigantic...
We can do it in the break.
Exactly. Yeah, exactly. I invite all of you
That's
to
great.
actually join us at one of these cocktail tables. Me and my colleague Alberto, who is filming here, we're gonna, happy to get you the headset on and take you to VR and back.
Oh, please.
It's really impressive. It's super complex to have multiple people in one environment. So congrats on developing the product to be able to do that. I was wondering about potential other applications such as industrial training, sports, where you have a group of people that you're trying to teach to do a certain thing, as a group, whether that's potentially a market that you might target.
Sure, that is on our roadmap. So first we want to dominate the entertainment space. Obviously startups need to focus, because I'm not a gamer, but we've chosen gaming as most adoptive, because obviously it needs to be safe and fun. So the requirements are comparably low. If I'm talking to BMW, it needs to be safe, fun, and super realistic, even more realistic than the car itself. So basically their requirements tend to be higher. However, other applications we see is virtual reality real estate showrooms, because they have the 3D data anyways there. Other applications we see group simulations, like either emergency, firemen, or defense. And other applications we see also in industrial, like factory line planning and all that, so urban planning. So there are plenty of applications, and that's also what we're going to leverage once we have our footprint. Actually, because during the day, some of these entertainment locations are also idle, so we can even leverage the entertainment locations for B2B use cases in complementary times.
My last question, how much is your R&D budget for the future, for the next milestone, and how much is dedicated to hardware, how much is to software?
That's a very good question. So important for everybody to understand is we are not a hardware business, because obviously hardware is hard. So we focus on the sensor fusion, which is essentially a algorithm, and which we can combine with different types of sensors which are off the shelf, as well as the headsets are off the shelf. So there are plenty of companies doing that, so we don't need to do that. So we focus mainly, also with investment, mainly on content and software, the software to make all these hardware work together as an operating system. And our R&D budget, so coming from this R&D institute, we have my co-founder is a pretty good guy in getting funding. So we have 5 million non-equity, non-debt basic, which is subsidy or part subsidy in European, German funding. Yeah.
Love it. Thank you.
Thank you, everyone.
Let's try it.
Exactly, let's try it.
Thank you very much.